Welcome to the Shift with CJ podcast, where we dive into the world of health and wellness and recently energy and curiosity. Well, I like to look at it from the cutting edge of science and energy. And I'm your host, CJ, today. I am so excited for this podcast because today, joining us from the other side of the pond is a visionary pioneer. He's an expert in the realm of energy, a specific kind of energy, scalar energy. He understands it really well, and he is using scalar energy to transform lives. Today, you're going to hear about my guest unveiling some of the mysteries and some of the potentials around this scalar energy source. I am really excited because this can help you from increasing your longevity to dealing with pathogens to balancing your chakras. Well, get ready for an uplifting conversation with Tom Paladino. Tom, welcome to the show.
CJ, thank you so much. My honor. Thank you.
Now, it's amazing that you're here on the show today. I've honestly been so excited to talk to you and learn from you and share with the rest of the world. So, Tom, you've been researching scalar energy for 35 years. Give us a brief, take us back in time. Tell us, why did you choose scalar energy? How did it happen? You can tell us like a brief story about it.
Yeah, it began at an early age, and I started to read about Nikola Tesla, the great scientist Nikola Tesla. I had a profound respect for Tesla. I knew that he was onto something. He was the first man to control scalar energy, which is the energy of the sun and the stars. Consider what I'm saying. If Tesla can control a star or the energy of a star, that's free energy. Tesla was doing that over 100 years ago. I'm trying to follow in his footsteps, in which I have behind me scalar energy instruments that likewise can capture that energy of the stars.
Mhm.
This offers just great promise to mankind. So, at an early age, I started studying Tesla. I believe in this science with all my heart. This technology will change the world. And that's why we're having this discussion today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to dig a bit deeper and understand it. But when you say the energy from the stars and from the sun, I know that plants have a natural mechanism, we call it photosynthesis, and they can extract some of the energy from the sun and use it to grow, to fill themselves up. A lot of people don't realize this, but humans at a certain point, they also have this human photosynthesis abilities where we can get energy from the suns. In fact, in some Eastern cultures, especially in India and in China and Taoist cultures, they have used the energy of the sun to actually enhance their own life energies. There are multiple stories of yogis in India which actually meditate and they don't really eat, but they let the sun or the air or the other five elements power them. So, how do you get a device to extract all this energy? Like, how it's groundbreaking. But can you tell us, like, let's start from how does this happen and what is scalar energy if you want to break it down?
Yeah. What is scalar energy? It's the initial energy of the sun and the stars. I've always asked myself, even as a youngster, I said, there's no way electricity or any type of electromagnetic energy can power the sun and the stars
Mhm.
because the energy from the sun and the stars never runs out. It doesn't experience entropy, and electricity experiences entropy. So, what's my point? It has to be a different type of energy that powers the sun and the stars. It's scalar energy, which does not experience entropy. It doesn't fade. There's no decay, so to speak.
Mhm.
Okay, so why is that important? Once we realize that there's two energies and that the best energy, the perpetual energy, is scalar energy, why not use scalar energy for everything? If it's infinite in supply, clean, and it never experiences entropy, why use electricity? Well, sadly, today our scientific world is fixated on electromagnetic energy. I want to change that so that world is fixated on scalar energy, which is infinite energy, an energy source that is unlimited. It's that simple. Tesla
Mhm.
saw that this was unlimited energy, and that's where we're going. Unlimited clean energy.
That sounds very promising. In fact, I remember once I was in Japan and I bought this pendant, Tom, and it said it was made of some sort of a volcano ash. Looked really beautiful. It's different from the one pendant that I have here. This is biogeometry, but that on the cover it said scalar energy. And there were, when I started to research for one of my other companies, because we wanted to look at this whole non-native electromagnetic frequencies that are surrounding us and are destroying our health. So we wanted to look for a mitigation device or someone that can counteract that energy. And one of the things I looked at was scalar energy. I did not go much deeper into it, but then I did a general search, and even places like Amazon were filled of these pendants and cards and SIM cards which you can put on your phone, and they all say scalar energy. Are they tapping into the same scalar energy? Because I know in the realm of energy, there's a lot of misconception, and there's a lot of, because people don't understand it, they can believe anything. So it gives people a new way to earn their living as well.
Uh, Off the top of my head, I'm going to say probably not. Why?
Mhm.
You either can have electricity or scalar. The two do not coincide. The two cannot power one another. In other words, I could not use this instrument to power my cell phone. To the
Mhm.
contrary, every time I put my cell phone close to the instrument, the cell phone malfunctions. Why? These are scalar energy instruments, and electromagnetic instruments do not recognize a scalar wave. It's different. So, suffice to say, my instruments are unique. I'll speak about my instruments. I work
Sure.
exclusively with scalar energy. These instruments, although they're wonderful, they can do incredible things. They cannot work hand in hand with electrical devices.
hmm So when we look at scalar energy, do you want to talk about a few of your equipments, because they look really cool, and I can see them
Okay.
in the background. If the audience is looking at this on a video podcast, then or if you're looking at this, you're listening to the audio, log on to the video podcast and see this is really cool.
Okay. Behind me is a scalar energy instrument. I'm going to show the audience
Sure.
to the side some of the inner workings of the scalar energy instrument.
hmm
That's as I pan over, that's one of the instruments that I'm working with. It's on, it's functioning right now. How do I know this is on? This instrument is so strong, it will illuminate a light bulb that I hold in my hand. This is a fluorescent tube, illuminates
Oh,
it
beautiful.
under the influence of scalar energy. I could pass a fluorescent tube, this is still in the factory packaging, close to the instrument. It illuminates the light bulb, the fluorescent tube. The energy is so strong, it passes through a wooden board. This is a cutting board, a chopping board. If I place this chopping board by the instrument, this light will still illuminate.
Hmm.
The energy passes through the chopping board.
Beautiful.
This is an indication of a scalar wave. Nothing can stop scalar energy. The energy of the sun and the stars will pass through a planet. It will pass through a galaxy. No, nothing can impede its motion. So these are scalar energy instruments that are operating. And then when I work with these instruments, I never work with people. To the contrary, I work with photographs. So
Mhm.
if I were to place my photograph inside the instrument would send me a chakra bouncing, much as if it shines energy into the light bulb. Imagine that type of energy going into your brain waves and your chakras. And
Mhm.
this instrument will balance the chakras.
Beautiful. And you don't, so people who are listening to this on the audio podcast, Tom had his picture next to the device, and then the device sends him these light waves or scalar energy waves. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, you can be in any part of the world. You don't have to be next to it. And this is one of
Yes.
the things that you're really good at and what you do, where, for example, I'm in Dubai, or anyone who's in Dubai, they can send you a picture and they can tell you that, hey, Tom, can you shine some light on me, or shine some energy on me, the scalar energy, and you can do it remotely, correct? And what does this influence? Because we're talking about health, we're talking about longevity, we're talking about spirituality. There's so many of these things. Do you have different devices for everything, or is a device programmed for one thing, or does it affect all spectrums of our biology.
So, to make this clear, this one instrument will balance the chakras, much like it illuminates this light bulb. It could illuminate my mind or my chakras. Or I can take this instrument and I can help it identify, say, this virus, the Marburg virus. How do I do that? If I were to place this photograph of the Marburg virus side by side my photograph, this instrument would communicate the intelligence of Marburg with my photograph. There's a sharing of information.
Hmm.
Follow me?
Yeah.
And I work with a photograph because there's no human interpretation. So the energy of Marburg would enter into my force field. And I would be able to download that energy by way of scalar light, once again, into my force field. So, if you will, the intelligence of Marburg downloads into my photograph, always animating it by way of light energy. What's the upshot? The upshot is if I had the intelligence of Marburg virus, or I had the energetic signal of Marburg, this photograph of Marburg would signal, would identify Marburg in me and eradicate it, bring the Marburg virus to a state of chaos. So,
Could it
in
do the opposite?
synopsis, no, I can't create life. That's a good question, though.
Okay.
So in synopsis, a photograph of a microbe allows me to identify the microbe in my quantum field and bring it to a state of chaos, eradicate it.
Interesting. And this is happening because scalar energy is, when we talk about this sort of an energy, because it's passing through so many things, it's non local and it transcends the physical domain, correct?
Yes,
So
that's
even when
correct.
someone is in a
Yeah,
different thing and everyone has looking at a picture or looking at thinking about someone, everyone has a different force field or a different energetic blueprint. And this can kind of tap into that resonance field.
yes. Thank you. So whether
Okay.
we're working with one photograph of a person, my quantum field is attached to that photograph.
Mhm.
I bilocate to the photograph. This is my
Mhm.
biological being. This is my quantum being. They both coincide, they both communicate with one another. But I never work with people, I work with their bilocated version. And I can work with one person or I can work with 100 people by way of their photograph.
Mhm. Interesting. What happens when you have twins?
That's very good. The energy still can pinpoint the individual.
Okay, so
You
the
cannot you cannot deceive light. Light is fundamental. You cannot fool light. Light never makes a mistake.
okay, and it's a very good example that you shared when we have things like a lot of the times, especially in the last 3 or 3.5 years, we realized that the world was full of things like bacteria, viruses, mold, there's fungi, all these microorganisms. And if you use scalar energy to eliminate them, my question before was, could you create a situation? And you said, no, you cannot create life. But could it happen that the scalar energy might power up those fungi, bacteria, mold?
Good point. Not this instrument because it's designed to bring to a state of chaos. The instrument actually is designed to break down the molecular bonds of a
Hmm.
microbe. It cannot create a microbe. So this is a state of chaos machine. It reverses the phase angle, or it brings a microbe to a state of chaos.
Okay, so it's basically the energy is vibrating, disassembling all of these things. Okay, got it. So the molecular bonds are broken. Let's talk about chakras. Chakras are very famous. You mentioned them once. Now, in the Western society and in the Eastern culture, we had it for a very long time. Now, in the Western society, everyone thinks that there's something wrong with their chakras or their chakra needs to be opened. Or what do you think about chakras? And what can scalar energy do for chakras?
Chakras are very real. God
Hmm.
created the chakras. They spin because they're spinning their vortices of energy, scalar energy.
Hmm.
So a scalar energy instrument can interface with scalar energy vortices. Chakras are composed of scalar energy. A scalar energy instrument can access, can interface with those chakras.
Hmm. And in that, once it acts, once it's maybe activating it or making it spin or making the energy vortices more denser, people start experiencing higher maybe health satisfaction, lowering down of depression or mental diseases. All of these things are possible because the basic alignment of your body is being facilitated, correct? So it's not just for one thing or the other, it's for your complete being.
Yes. So yes, to answer your question, yes. When a person sends me their photograph, their quantum field from head to toe is treated. Now, keep in mind, this is not human reasoning. I simply turn this instrument on. The energy, the intelligence does the work.
Hmm.
It's there's no human ingenuity here. There's no human reasoning. So to answer your question, the scalar energy instrument can balance the seven chakras. It can balance the brain waves. It accesses the person's quantum field. Every cell, every quantum cell is connected. This is
Hmm.
the key to my work. This is not human reasoning. This is not Newtonian science. The instrument is self directed, self governed. It does the work. I do nothing.
Hmm. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, most of the things that actually operate in nature are beyond logic. We always try to learn from it and put our logical or our intellectual mind. But what is reality is beyond the intellect. That's why we're still stuck on the electromagnetic spectrum. But scalar energy is one. There might be hundreds or thousands of more things that we don't even know about,
Yes,
which
yes,
exists out there. And
yes, right.
you know, according to some beliefs, I would say, they say that we as humans in our lifetimes or beyond our lifetimes, we have three bodies. We have the physical body, we have an astral body, and we have a causal body. And there are some beliefs out there that once our time on this earth is done, and if we don't get into this cycle of reincarnation, we might be born as a life on a different plane, an astral plane. And what powers astral beings is, I don't know if it's similar, but maybe you can shed some light on it, is lifetrons in the astral plane. And these lifetrons are made out of light, the astral light, the lights that are available in the stars and things that we don't really understand right now. Could it be because some of those beings in the outside realm can manifest a lot of things because they create it with light and light energy, and some of the people in this world, they can tap into some of those energies, but could it be that it is some version or of the scalar energy that they're interacting with?
Now, let me say this. I come from a Christian faith. I believe
Hmm.
there are angels and they're composed of light. There are celestial beings
Hmm.
exclusively composed of light. There's no biology to these celestial beings.
Hmm.
And what's the animating force? It's this eternal light, scalar light. That's the angelic realm. That's the realm of the spirit. And I believe everybody likewise has the spirit, which is non physical intelligence or non physical divine energy. We have a soul, that's scalar energy. There are angelic beings, that's scalar energy. So this is the realm of spirit. It's non physical divine essence.
Hmm. And do you think, as humanity is growing and we're evolving, the spirit realm or the angelic realm, they want us to be, or they want us to know about this sort of an energy so we
Yeah,
could use it, because again, it's unlimited, it's there. Why not tap into it? Have you had
exactly.
personal experiences of with any of these outside beings, or have you got some downloads? Can you share something around that?
God is pure spirit, and God has given me the wisdom for this. This is God's energy. This is God's life. Without God's help, without the Holy Spirit, I could not have accomplished what I've accomplished. So, God, the Holy Spirit, gives me that insight. This is not human reasoning. This is a divine mysticism. This is divine wisdom.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's talk about people who are sick. For example, we spoke about, now there are a lot of people in hospitals, and they're battling with a lot of cellular decay, And one of the things that I keep hearing is that we want to influence our, or we want to regenerate ourselves. Now, in the reasoning mind, there is regenerative medicine. But could this act as a regenerative medicine where we can direct certain energy flow towards someone who's sick in the hospital, and it can help their cells recover or give the cells a signal? Or, basically, I look at cells as like battery packs. So sometimes there is low energy, like in your iPhone, and then it's a high energy. So can we charge up the batteries of people?
Yes, yes. Many times I've worked with the elderly or people who are in hospitals or
Mhm.
hospice, and this serves as a surge of energy. And many times, if we can remove pathogens or we can balance the chakras, people say that they feel better and they do recover or they have a better, what I would call lifestyle quality.
Mhm.
Right? Their state of health is improved. So I want to make this very clear. This is for everybody, young and old. Everybody can advance. Everybody can experience the benefits of scalar energy. That's what I'm trying to inculcate. This energy is for everybody. Scalar energy is for the world. Everybody in the world should enjoy some type of scalar energy session. It's natural.
Mhm. There's also, we spoke about one extreme situation where people are really sick or they're elderly, but then there's the extreme other situation where we have high performing executives, CEOs, we have people who are running the countries, we're having athletes, people who are pushing their bodies and minds a little bit more. Do you think that for this category of people, when we direct scalar energy on them, like let's say a world class athlete, can he break his own records now when he's powered up by scalar energy in the Olympics? This is a hypothetical situation, but I'm looking at, because we also have a lot of athletes and peak performers, and they're always looking for that cutting edge. Could scalar energy be that cutting edge tool that can take them to another level?
Yes, yes. I've had many athletes say that they stay on my program because they feel that this gives them a competitive edge. So, yes, by practice, there are athletes who stay on this year round. They feel that this gives them added energy or a greater sense of clarity, mental clarity. Yes.
Okay, and how long does it take? So, for example, if someone sends you, if I send you my picture today, and I tell you, Tom, could you please, I want to start working with you. What's the process of working with you? Do I have to send you a picture? Do I have to tell you what's going on in my life? Do I want to tell you what do I want to experience? How does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. To answer your question, please don't tell me any personal information. I'm not a medical professional.
Okay,
The the energy does the
and not
work.
a psychologist as well.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And so, what is the key to my work? Energy does the thinking. It's not me. Scalar energy is much smarter than me. This is divine energy. When I place your photograph inside this instrument, the energy will perform the work function. It's not me. There's no human reasoning with this instrument. The human reasoning was with the engineering. In operation, you move aside. Don't let your ego get involved. Let consciousness, let divine intelligence work on that. Let the energy heal. I am not the healer.
And do you have only one device which is behind you, or you have multiple devices?
I probably have 50 instruments.
Yeah, because on your website, there were devices of all shapes and sizes. Do they do something else? Are you working on some secret project? Like,
I, 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 I'm working on many projects, yes. One of my projects is energy enhancement. I want to be able to light up a city. If I can light up a light bulb, then eventually I should be able to light up a building or a city.
mhm.
So
Well,
there are
that's something interesting.
there are different instruments for different applications. This has been my life work, and yes, I always want to advance. I want to see what this energy can do.
Hmm. Could we build a? So you have a device there, and you're in America. But what if I wanted a device at my house in Dubai? Could this be something that could go into a consumer model one day?
Eventually, yes. Will I be able to do that? No. That's going to take billions of dollars. This laboratory took me years to build, so I don't envision multiplying, duplicating this laboratory. Do I see that this having its application around the world? Yes. When? I don't.
Hmm.
To get it from this point to commercialization is going to take a Herculean effort.
Hmm. Can this can this device help you manifest things? So let's say if scalar energy is directed onto me and I have a deep desire of manifesting, okay, we know that better health and all of these peace of mind, all of these things can be done easily because they work on your biology. But let's look at something which is not in your current biology, something that needs the forces of the world to come in together. Let's say I wanted to manifest $1 million or the beautiful car or whatever. Could scalar energy help me get there?
I think so. Yes, to answer your question, yes. Let's use this example. Today we have electrical cars, which is great. Eventually we'll have scalar energy cars. So instead of plugging into an electrical outlet, you'll probably have an antenna that captures scalar energy to power your car. So this is just a different way of looking at power
Hmm.
transmission and power application. I want to make it clear that electricity and scalar energy are two different dimensions. If you have an electrical car, you need electricity. If you have a scalar car, you need scalar energy to drive it. The two energies are incompatible. One cannot overlap to the other. So if you're going to develop a scalar energy world, you need scalar energy instruments that tap into scalar energy.
How do you extract scalar energy? Is it like a solar panel that sunlight is falling on, or because you mentioned antenna, or
There's scalar energy everywhere in the world. What I
okay,
do is I take an electrical signal and I recombine the double helix into a scalar wave. So you can convert electricity into scalar. That's what I do. And
okay,
the gain is tremendous. If I start
and
with 1x of electricity, I can wind up with a million x of scalar.
okay, and it's potentially the energy is not going to die, so you have infinite source of this scalar energy all the time.
That's correct.
Interesting. We also have heard, and science proves this now, that energy interacts with water, and energy can be, or information can be stored in water. Can um, can we use scalar energy to power up a, for example, if I have a big, let's say, a big bottle, or let's think about bigger than a bottle, like a tank full of water. And if I give you that tank's picture and you direct scalar energy on it, does that mean that that water now carries some element of that energy and everyone that drinks from that water can also benefit from scalar energy? Could this work? I'm just
Absolutely.
using a hypothetical situation in my head.
Yes. To answer your question, yes.
Hmm.
I it has been experimented. My predecessor Hieronymus was doing that. You can take a vial of water and potentiate it, and if you will, send pulsations of scalar energy into it, and then that vial of water holds a signal. Yes, to answer your question,
Hmm.
yes. Now, keep in mind the human body is 70% water, and this instrument is pulsating, and my water domain is receiving that energy. So water
Hmm.
has always proven to be a great capacitor, a great reservoir for scalar energy. Water is miraculous.
So, because I'm looking at it in a way that, okay, if this device cannot reach the world right now, and if we had to somehow get to a lot of people, could we just charge up water and send water to people?
That's
Could be
one
an
way.
easy source. Yeah, could be an
That's
easy
one
source of getting some. And
yes.
you mentioned about your predecessor. Uh, what was his name?
Hieronymus.
Is this story from the Egyptian, ancient Egypt?
that
Uh,
that's a derivative of his name, very good, which is Hieronymus is Hierophant. He was the high priest of scalar energy. Um,
yes,
to,
exactly.
to follow up on that, he had he had mystical knowledge. For him to
Mhm.
develop these instruments was just fantastic. And what he understood, this is back in the 1930s and 1940s, and he worked really essentially independent of any other scientific body. So God gave him the wisdom, working independently.
Mhm. Where do you think is, I mean, you mentioned it briefly that you're looking for lighting up a building, lighting up a car, having scalar energy equipment. Um, what other applications you think are there for scalar energy in the future? Where can we,
Uh,
have you spoken to some governments about this? Is anyone else in the world working on this?
to answer your question, it's unlimited potential. There are thousands, tens of thousands of applications with this energy.
Hmm.
Sadly, no group has approached me to work with me. None. Not one scientific group has shown any interest. Zero.
Hmm. Okay,
Suppressed.
interesting.
CJ, it's suppressed. This type of free energy is suppressed. That's the problem.
You know, the thing is, it maybe we'll have to talk offline about this, but I know a few people who are always looking for the cutting edge of science, especially in Dubai. So maybe I can make some introductions, and I really believe in what you're doing. So this could, but we'll talk
Yep,
offline about it. Well, Tom,
please.
it's been a great time. We've done a good 101 introduction to scalar energy. I think I have most of my questions answered. But I want to talk to you about, if people get curious and they want to start working with you, what's the whole process? You have something on your website which is a 15-day try it out. Like, how does that work?
That's correct. We offer 15 days of free session. Now, keep in mind, the only thing you need to do is send us your photograph. You're just going to email us your photograph. That's it. No questions asked. Don't tell me your medical conditions. I'm not in the medical field. You send us your photograph. We balance your chakras. We eliminate germs, microbes, and we actually can create, with this instrument, we can also create vitamins. If I took a vitamin like this B4 adenine, we could create, download B4 into your quantum field. So we balance your chakras, we eliminate germs, and we can create vitamins. We do that for 15 days. You can send your photograph or your entire family. You can send your
Hmm.
pets. You have a dog or cat or a bird, send in photographs of your pets. And for 15 days, we will perform those three functions. Most people, the greater majority of people, feel better. They say that this is wonderful. The fact that they only have to send their photograph, this does not require any additional work on their effort. Just email us your photograph. You don't have to change your diet or your exercise routine. Do nothing. Just accept the healing.
Okay, and once the 15 days are over, is does this have to be an everyday thing? Is there a subscription plan? Do you do it? I mean, if I start feeling better, do I tell you, like, Tom, okay, I'm done, and I call you whenever I'm not feeling well? Like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah, we we suggest that people start with the 15-day free session.
okay,
Thereafter, we leave it up to people. We want everybody to have that latitude. We don't force anybody to do anything. So we allow people to make that final judgment. Start with a 15-day free trial. It's free. You have nothing to lose but your germs. Then you decide.
okay, cool. That sounds good. Tom, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a great time talking to you. For
Likewise.
my
Thank
last
you, CJ.
question, if knowing everything that you know about right now, about scalar energy, about life, about everything, right? If you could go back to your younger self and you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Trust in God, trust in yourself. When I
Trust
trust in
in
God
God.
and trust in myself, I always advance. Don't let anybody dissuade you. Don't listen to any negativity. Trust in God, trust in yourself.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's really good for the young people out there as well, because most of the times we're driven by commercials and we're driven by this added stress of work and life. And between all of these things, we tend to lose God and focus on other things. So thank you for sharing that. So, guys, please trust in God, trust in yourself. Your website is
Scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Tell your friends about it. You can send us a million photographs. Let's treat everybody.
Amazing. So scalarlight.com, Tom has been doing this research for 35 years. And Tom, I appreciate what you're bringing to the world. I wish you the best of luck. I want to be a part of, helping you bringing this as well. So I'll try my best. And thank you so much for being there. And lovely to have you. And for everyone, this is your host, CJ, signing out from the Shift with CJ podcast. Everyone, have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great lifetime ahead of you. And remember, trust God and trust yourself. Take care.